Hello, I'm DelusionDispeller, back to talk to you more about Scientology. Again, excuse the voice, I'm getting over a cold. I have been a life coach for the past few years, helping people 4 years before that. If I can do anything to help you, please write me at DelusionDispeller@gmail.com. And let's continue with, once the auditing session is over, what happens next? They're going to take you to a leader, as I said in the last video. And that leader is going to talk to you about your session very briefly, probably. How did it go? What do you think? That kind of stuff, most likely. And the next thing they will say is, well, if you think that clearing felt good, we have these courses that can really help you get clear. And they're only $20. And you get this book and that tape and that CD, whatever. And they begin selling you, basically, their books and their information. Now, the Christian church does this too. They sell you stuff. So I can't totally down the Scientology beliefs because they charge people money for stuff, because the Christian church is just as bad as that, at that. Alright, so anyways, they start with the sales pitch. They try to get as much money out of you as possible, which is why I said this belief system requires money. Their books and tapes and everything are sold at a very high price. So you almost have to be wealthy to afford to be a Scientologist, which explains all the celebrities that are in and the richer people. Alright, once you join Scientology, you are not allowed to go anywhere without being accompanied by a Scientologist partner of some kind. They do not allow you to have a lot of time to think for yourself, because you may decide you don't want to be there. And they're trying to promote this one conglomerate, I guess you could say, of people that are like-minded. They don't want you to leave, and they don't want you to go and tell about their belief system, because people won't understand it. That's their viewpoint on it. People aren't going to understand what we do. They're going to misjudge us. Don't talk to your parents about it. They're going to tell you to leave, and then you won't achieve your highest potential. Alright, so they don't want you to renege on any of your payments either. And if you leave, you may have time to think, man, what did I just do? I don't really want to pay for those books. And then you'll cancel your check, or you'll cancel your payment. And then, you won't attain that highest spirituality. And if you do decide to leave or speak against the Church of Scientology, you are considered a suppressive, or an SP, which means you are not cooperating. You are a rebellious person. The Christian church has this too. Rebellious people are to be confronted by a person that they have rebelled against, and then another person is to be taken to them and be confronted again, and then they are to be brought before the church, and then if they still do not repent, they are kicked out of the church. Been there, done that, lived it. I know all about it. I was the rebellious person. Anyway, in Scientology, eventually when you get to the top, you have to sign a billion-year contract, because they believe in reincarnation. You are reincarnated over and over and over again till you reach this highest spirituality. So they want you with them for the long haul, and I mean the long haul. Billion years. That will get you into the Sea Org, which is the higher up Scientology organization, and that will help you cleanse the planet even more, because they're the ones that know all the real inner workings of Scientology. So you want to be a Sea Org person if you're in Scientology. Okay, they have levels, as I said, and they are called Thetan levels. They're usually OT, things like that. What they believe is this is where the extraterrestrial spirits, or the demons, the evil spirits, are removed from you at these higher levels. This requires you listing all your sexual partners and activities of your past, the times you've lied, times you've disobeyed everybody, and the things you've done wrong, and what you've done wrong, and how you did it, and why you did it, and all this information you give them so they can keep written record of it in their files. Unfortunately, a lot of times the bad people in Scientology will later use this to control you, to question your credibility as a person of character, and to stop you from opposing or leaving Scientology. Alright. Scientologists discourage open discussion of their beliefs. And people that are considering leaving are warned that they will end up committing suicide within a certain amount of time, or they will go crazy or something, because only the Scientologists are the ones that are keeping you stable and sane and keeping you clear. As soon as you get out into the real world, you're going to go nuts, according to them. So that's one way that they can get you to decide to stay with them. Alright. I guess I'm trying to tell this in more of an unbiased way, because I don't believe that anything other than maybe Satanists are evil people. That's not what they're about. I think they have good intentions, but people can be deceived in any religion, in any belief system. And I'm trying to tell you both sides. I'm trying to mostly tell you a factual account of what I know about Scientology, not from a first-hand experience. I am not a Scientologist. I have never been one, don't want to be one, but I want to tell you the facts so you can understand more about it. But I don't want to paint them all as evil, terrible people, because essentially what they want to do is make the world a better place. And we all, I think, good-hearted people want to do that in some way. It doesn't mean they're going about it with the best means. It doesn't mean there aren't abuses within their church or their belief system. And that's kind of, I'm trying to give a roundabout, well-rounded explanation about it. So stay tuned. I'll talk more about Scientology. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.